Busan, South Korea. I'm at the UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, Plastic Treaty Negotiations. It's the fifth iteration, so INC-5, and it is the final scheduled negotiations for the Global Plastics Treaty. I'm representing in my role as co-chair of the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative, and on behalf of the University of Georgia and their funding mechanism, I'm here representing all the communities along the Mississippi River, to be their voice as we look at dealing with the plastic pollution crisis on the planet right now. We have specific goals that, and I can basically, there's three critical ones. One is the extended producer responsibility part of the final treaty that will at least lead to producers and manufacturers being responsible for the products that they produce for the lifetime of the product, which doesn't happen now. At this point, we have local governments around the globe, including the city of La Crosse, that are ultimately responsible for cleaning up the garbage that comes from the tremendous amount of production of plastic products from the manufacturers and producers. So what we're trying to do, so we're responsible for that. We're the ones that are cleaning it up. We're the ones that are dealing with the stormwater issues. We're the ones that are dealing with the health issues in our communities. What we're trying to do is to get these global producers and the petrochemical industry specifically to be responsible for not only the cleanup, but for ensuring that upstream that we're having less plastic produced overall. And that's actually one of the goals of not only extended producer responsibility, but source reduction, decreasing the amount of plastics that go into our environment. And that can be in any number of kind of ways. Among them is just, consumer choices, right? But we can look at how we, package design and changing how we deliver goods to the consumer. And I think that that's one of the goals of what we're trying to do here. Also, transparency. What we're looking for is transparency in the ultimate instrument here that comes from the UN. I don't know if they're going to, if they're actually going to agree on anything, all the countries here. But ultimately, what we want to see is that there is transparency in what's actually in the plastics that we're utilizing on a day-to-day basis. What are the chemicals that we're using? What are the chemicals that are going into the environment? How do they impact all of us every single day? Because obviously there's significant impacts from plastics. I mean, I'm sure you have heard of all the research that is related to microplastics in our health systems and how the endocrine disruptors that create fertility issues among folks. And so I think that's one of the critical issues that we need to address frequently is just, again, what is it that we're actually consuming? And when you start trying to look through the chemicals that are involved in the production of plastics, it's, frankly, it's a little bit frightening. Yes, it's great. We're able to share a lot of stories. The interesting thing is, Caden, is that, I'm representing Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative. I was in Ottawa in April at the INC-4, and just like there, I'm more or less the only mayor here from the planet. So it's difficult to share story, to share experiences with other municipalities because I'm basically the voice of all the municipalities on the planet at this point. I mean, there are some, there's a lot of folks here. There's folks from Cal Recycle. There's folks from, again, around the globe, especially from Southeast Asia, from the Korea Peninsula and places like that. But it is, I am trying to do my best to advocate for local municipalities because we are always on the front lines in implementation of anything that happens, either on a global treaty level or a state level or federal level or any of that. And so to the extent that I can advocate for our communities so that we can effectively address plastic pollution, I'm going to do it.